Hello and welcome to the 23rd Annual John D. Spellman Awards for Achievement in Historic Preservation. Today we recognize the exceptional work being done around the county to highlight and preserve our shared heritage. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that King County occupies the traditional lands of numerous tribes of Coast Salish-speaking people, past and present. We honor their enduring cultural legacy, recognize their history, and acknowledge their presence here today. The Historic Preservation Awards are named for John D. Spellman, who served as King County's first executive and later as Governor of Washington State. As King County Executive, Governor Spellman laid the foundation for preservation in King County by initiating the first countywide survey of historic resources, passing the King County Landmarks Ordinance, and creating the King County Landmarks Commission. Each year, as we celebrate preservation accomplishments, we honor Governor Spellman's lasting legacy. And now, on to our first award. Today, we proudly recognize Kenmore Air as a legacy business, honoring its remarkable history as a multi-generational, family-owned enterprise and its enduring contributions to King County and beyond.
I started out doing remote control airplanes, and then I was like, all right, what's the next thing after that? And it's flying the real planes.
Clear. My son was pretty much born, came out of the womb wanting to drive things, fly things.
I've been flying the same routes that my great uncle Greg flew when he was my age.
San Juan Islands and so forth, up into Canada and these unique places that you can only get by plane or by boat. Just a grand adventure. I mean, this whole business has been a grand adventure.
Kenmore Air was started by my grandfather, Bob Monroe. It started out with he and two high school friends. They ended up buying an airplane to restore in their garage, and it happened to be a seaplane. Their first flight, they took off right from the property right here in 1945, and somebody was driving by when they saw the airplane take off and asked if they taught flying lessons, and they said, yes, we do. Now we do. So that was the beginning of the business. My grandmother and grandfather raised their family right here on the shores of Lake Washington.
I grew up here on the property. Our family home was right here. We were on the other side of the tracks as far as my friends at school. The steam locomotive used to go by on the railroad track up here. Now it's a popular bike trail. Kind of tells you how long I've probably been around here on this property, but watching the whole area grow up has been quite an experience.
Have fun. But what makes it really special is the people that we've been able to work with over the years. We've had people that have worked at Kenmore for decades.
Kenmore, it's here in King County, its roots are here, and we love being here.
Taking people up there, especially for their first time, and showing the beautiful Pacific Northwest, it's just a special thing to be able to do that.
I just hope it never gets old. You know, it's always exciting every time, and I hope it stays that way.
I think our business is the coolest business in the Northwest. Actually, I think it's the coolest business in anywhere.
Congratulations to Kenmore Air. As a legacy business, we celebrate its rich history and vital role in connecting King County to the greater Pacific Northwest. Next up, we have the 2024 John D. Spellman Award for Achievement in Rehabilitation. Historic houses, especially small and unassuming ones, generally don't survive long periods of vacancy. It takes a special kind of vision, determination, and love of history to see the potential in an aging house and invest the energy and resources needed to bring it back to life. Congratulations to Ashley Toney for her thoughtful and impactful rehabilitation of the McAvoy House in Skykomish.
I just like the optimism that comes along with bringing houses back to life. We are in the McAvoy House in Skykomish, Washington, in the foothills of the Cascade Mountains, just 15 minutes from Stevens Pass. Patty McAvoy was involved with the Great Northern Railway, and when the railroad was built over Stevens Pass, he was one of the first engineers to bring a train over the pass. And he decided to start a tavern in Skycomish, and then he built this house. And that was in the 1890s. When I came in for the first time, this house had been vacant for about 15 years. There was not heat. The floors, they were covered in layers of paint. The windows, I probably could have just pushed them out. I knew that I was the crazy person who could buy it and who could try to bring it back and give it its life back. The original floors could be saved. Some of the original exterior siding of the house was found, and so I left one wall exposed because I wanted people to be able to see that. And I just tried to do things that would match with the period of the house. And just since I've been here in town, people, come by and say, "Oh, I lived there," or "My family lived there," or "My best friend lived there and I went to gatherings all the time." And houses in particular, they represent all the people who have lived here, all the families. I've met so many people in town. I've learned so much about the community because of this house. So I'm really happy to be here in the midst of all of this richness.
Congratulations to Ashley for breathing new life into a historic home. The John D. Spellman Award for Preservation Partnerships recognizes that large-scale, complex projects require skilled collaboration across agencies to achieve vital, long-ranging goals. The Lower Russell Levee Setback Project was a sweeping 9-year flood management and salmon habitat restoration effort that reshaped 50 acres along the Lower Green River in Kent. Let's get to know some of the people who came together to make this project a success.
This flood control district project has something for everyone. There's flood risk reduction, there's the fish and wildlife benefits, there's the recreation and open space benefits, and then there are some unique features as well related to some of the tribal history here. This project kind of has it all. This was a reach of the river that had a real damaged levee. There was also a really limited habitat along this reach for fish and wildlife. We set back the levee, the park was reconstructed, and then we've restored the riparian habitat. We came up with something that was, I think, truly special and that will be very enduring for a long period of time.
We are standing very close to the location of the village of Stuck. The construction team uncovered cooking stones and artifacts. It was amazing to be able to touch the stones that our ancestors touched, to kneel down in front of them. Getting reacquainted with these special places stirs something inside, and it really promotes a person to reconsider their identity about who they are and where they come from.
There is a very long and complex history of this river valley, but many of the changes that have taken place over the years have come at the cost of salmon habitat degradation.
Juvenile salmon need slow water where they can swim without expending too much energy, but also near food where they can feed and grow. And so we tried to include those features in the habitat elements that we created.
We also have an artificial creek that has been constructed here.
And creates this nice flowing mudflat habitat that the birds and the amphibians love.
We also have these log structures. They're floating log rafts that provide essentially hiding places and more complex habitat for juvenile fish.
You know, for thousands of years, our ancestors have utilized this place. The idea was to provide tribal members an opportunity to relive the experience of cooking salmon on the banks of the Green River, harvesting berries on medicinal plants, right here on the very same site that their ancestors did that same activity. To get our children and our younger adults reacquainted with this special place called Stuck.
It's been a great collaboration with the City of Kent, with the Muckleshoot Tribe, with the Flood Control District, many other partners, too long to list, but it's an example, I think, of what can happen with collaboration and working together.
The success of this project reflects the dedication and innovation of agency and tribal professionals who balanced flood protection and habitat restoration with respectful stewardship of cultural heritage. Our final award this year goes to an individual that had a distinguished career in public service. Congratulations to Nancy Owsley for the 2024 John D. Spellman Award for Career Achievement. From preserving courthouses around the state to championing thoughtful development in Kenmore, Nancy has been a catalyst for preserving historic places and strengthening communities. Let's join Nancy for a look at some of the historic places that make Kenmore special.
We are in downtown Kenmore, Washington. It's fun to see how things continue to flourish and grow. Before I came to work at Kenmore, I worked in state government. I had to travel around the state, and these courthouses I'm seeing are amazing. Dozens of courthouses have been able to do rehab. That's how I got more immersed in historic preservation. We're in one of the newest parks in Kenmore. It's where a small river connects with the Sammamish River. Indigenous people would spend their winter right here. The City Council approved renaming this park to honor the First Nation peoples who were here. The name of the park now is Tlahadis. We're at the beautiful lodge at St. Edward, which was for many years a seminary building. Then it sat mostly empty for many years. Frankly, not too many people thought it would survive. This is kind of a storybook ending. It has become a place where people celebrate, they gather. You just can't help but think of all the people who have come here before us. Preservation, it's not just physical structures, it's the stories.
Nancy's determination and commitment to the public good have left an enduring legacy of rehabilitated landmarks, thriving businesses, and vibrant public spaces. Thank you for joining us for this year's John D. Spellman Awards. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all current and former Landmarks Commissioners for their service and dedication to this essential and often challenging work. I'd also like to acknowledge King County's amazing Historic Preservation Program staff, Todd Scott, Sarah Steen, Phil Letourneau, and Alicia Valentino, for all they do each day to identify and protect historic places and cultural artifacts throughout the county. And finally, I'd like to thank this year's award winners for being passionate advocates for preservation. Their work helps make King County a culturally vibrant place to call home. See you next year.